and present all the questions that they might need to get answers to.
Yeah.
It's very inexpensive. It's $60 for the entire 6 weeks. And we do it in the evenings to make it convenient for people who might have jobs right now.
Multiple speakers, presenters?
Sure. We bring in Dr. Erick Swift from the SBDC over here at IUP, which is housed under the Pitt campus as well. And then we typically bring in people from the Ben Franklin Technology Partners Group, which are partners in everything that we do at the TEC. And then it's kind of based on their needs. Like if they're all very heavy retail, try to bring in some retail expertise. It kind of depends on what we get in the mix.
Oh, yeah. So people need to sign up for this ahead of time?
Correct. Yeah, we need to know they're going to come. So it's a tecenter.org website under our workshops. That would be probably the one listed at the top of that workshop list.
tecenter.org. So if you're thinking of starting a business, you don't really know what it's all about, but you think that you have an idea that might work, this is the thing for them.
Yeah, this is for early stage folks. Even if it's just an idea, we'll help you flesh it out, see if you can get to the point where you decide to pull the trigger. Or if you're a small business and thinks you need to work on the business and not just in the business, come on by. We'll work with you on that as well. And it's also just some time to network and get to meet a lot of other great people too.
So the date for that is again when?
That starts July 15th.
July 15th.
So
that's not so far from now.
Yeah, get you registered this week if we can. And then in the fall, we do the Leadership Indiana County program again. This will be our 8th time. And that's roughly going to start at the end of August. But the link for that is also on our website at tecenter.org under workshops.
Okay.
Now, the Chamber actually asked us to do a couple of specialized workshops. So we're going to be doing an AI for small business workshop July 8th. That's next Tuesday over lunch. Again, you can the link's on our website. You can register for that. It costs about $5. We'll buy pizza and give you drinks. And we think that AI for small business is an opportunity for a lot of people to kind of up their productivity, maybe try something new they haven't done. And I'll come back to that topic, but we're also going to do a digital marketing for small business and an e-commerce for small business workshops in the next few weeks as well.
Wow, those are pretty exciting possibilities because it really does. It goes, advancements go so very, very quickly that what was relevant a year ago probably is obscure now.
It's difficult particularly in the marketing field, because there's so many channels of communication. I mean, radios are great. People have to remember radio, TV, the legacy media are still excellent ways to reach an audience, newspapers as well. But there's so many social media channels. There's so much in the digital sphere that people just can't keep up with that we want to walk through some of that with them. Yeah. And AI is a brand new topic for a lot of folks. We actually have a very special workshop that we've already scheduled for August 12th with Brad Martineau, who wrote the AI-Enabled Executive. I don't know if you've heard about this book that's been making the waves around here. Brad's a local lawyer who's also very heavily involved in a lot of different projects. He's going to come talk at the TEC about that book on August 12th.
Yeah, well, when you talk about media the way that it is today, we have found in the radio industry as we continue to move forward that our digital platform is as popular as radio is. People really rely upon it.
Yeah, the streaming format. Yeah. Because some people probably out of the area, they want to hear your broadcast, so they can't pick it up through the natural airwaves, so they're going to go to the website and stream it.
Yeah, and then when you figure the digital content like the news, the sports, and all of the different features that we have there, the different tabs for help centers and all of those different things, they're just part of a whole picture that probably was a kind of fuzzy 10 or 15 years ago, but now has come into really strong focus, and it just promises to get even better and more expansive.
It does, but I feel that people always return to the trusted sources. It's so hard today to know when you see something in social media or hear something, whether it's true or not. That word fake news has been thrown around, but it's very difficult to discern. And I teach that basically people are going to fall back on the news sources they've learned to trust over the years. So that's going to be Renda Broadcasting. It's going to be Indiana Gazette. It might be your favorite television station, but they're not going to just listen to some fly-by-night made-up story. They want to hear it from people they know have been invested in the news for quite a long time and have a reputation to keep.
Yeah, yeah. When you think about the possibilities for AI, there really is no limit, is there?
It's difficult. Well, there's some things it doesn't do, like plumbing.
Yeah, you said that last time, and as soon as I just said there's no limit, it popped in my head. Wait a second, last time he was talking about wiring wiring up the light switch, all those different things.
Yeah, it's definitely the trades are not nearly as impacted by AI, other than behind the scenes processing and efficiencies that might kick in, like ordering and logistics and maybe phone calls. But I think what we typically call the white collar jobs, the ones you get a college degree because you know how to manage information, you know how to shove it around, maybe you know how to present. They're going to be heavily impacted in the long run because these softwares can do some things they couldn't do before. And I may have said last time, the real key is that now you can just talk to it and get it to do things, where before you had to learn how to program. And that's a high hurdle for many people, to learn how to program C or Python or something. But now you can talk to ChatGPT and it'll try to answer your question best it can, and then it'll go on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. In fact, software programmers are now finding that they're obsolete if they're not using AI, because it speeds up their productivity by an order of 10 magnitude sometimes.
Yeah. Some of the educational ramifications of AI are, from an educator's standpoint, they're kind of frightening, because we see with the way that people are so reliant upon their phones now, even before AI, and how electronics enable us to not have to think critically, not have to develop verbal or written skills, because somebody else through a computer program is doing it for us. Then we lose our abilities if we aren't sharp and if we aren't being taught these skills in school. And I know from an educator's standpoint, when they get a paper turned into them that is very obviously AI, today it might obviously be AI. 5 years from now, it probably won't be obvious that it's AI, and kids will be able to submit research papers that they had nothing really to do with, and so they're not really being educated.
I agree in part with what you said, because I think that certain skills will be deprecated in the sense that they'll just kind of go behind us. Like, let's take math as an example. When I went through 50 years ago, you had to learn the math from scratch. You had to do everything else on a piece of paper. I remember meeting my faculty at Michigan in statistics who said his dissertation was doing ANOVA, which is just one small analysis on a data set. But he spent weeks doing that one analysis. By the time I'd come, I could program that in a computer in about 5 minutes. After me now, people don't even need to know what ANOVA is. They just send the data through the computer and says, well, I know what to do with this. So a lot of our math skills, for many of us, have kind of gone down a little bit, but the critical thinking skills are still there. Like, you got to know, is that the right analysis? Should I do something different? Like, is this correct? And what we're discovering is that the next generation, I believe, is going to have to learn how to use the tools correctly, which is a very critical thinking kind of skill. But some of the information retrieval, the spell checking, the searching websites, that might go by the wayside. It might be that I don't have to do that because the computer does that quicker and easier than I can do it.
Yeah.
It's very complex and it's very diverse. I don't know that we have a good picture of what's going to come down the pike.
Yeah, yeah. Do you see the day, because we heard some reports last week that it was actually happening now, and scientists and people who develop these sorts of things, that they're even surprised by how AI is seeking to take over functions that typically would put them in check, but they're seeing the threat, and so they are. In fact, I heard one last week where an AI computer decided that it was being threatened with being turned off by somebody, and so it decided it was going to blackmail the person who was trying to program it out of the equation.
Yeah. So where I'm going to push back on that is that the computer doesn't seek anything. It doesn't have any intention. It isn't trying. We use that language because we anthropomorphize, computers, just like we do dogs and cats. Like, we give it that kind of processing, that kind of thinking. It doesn't do any of that. It does what it's programmed to do. And yeah, you can push a large language model into some weird things that it can says back, but you got to push it there. It doesn't want to go there. You have to kind of prep it with a conversation that says this and this and this and this and this, and then it starts to say absurd things. But you have to push the conversation. And they have guardrails that they've put on these things that get better and better and better as they start to see how humans interact with these computer systems. They're like, all right, We don't want that. Let's put another guardrail up. So the computer isn't trying to do anything. It doesn't have intention. If you program it to do certain kinds of things, including just dialogue, you can push the dialogue in lots of different directions because it's soaked up the entire internet.
Yeah.
So if you ask it to solve a mystery, it'll go, well, I've read all the mystery books there are. Let me give it a try. And then it hallucinates and it makes stuff up sometimes because it doesn't know not to. It tries to give you an answer. But we're all have in our mind these science fiction movies and science fiction books.
See, that
isn't really what's going on. It's not like that.
But what you're saying doesn't make a good movie, Eric.
Exactly. Doesn't make a good movie to say it's going to do what it's been programmed to do and not much more than that.
Yeah, we want a war game scenario going on.
Yeah,
here.
and I love that movie too. Matthew Broderick, right? So
Yeah.
that was a great movie, but that isn't what's happening. That's the computers do very sophisticated data analysis. It's data analysis in the end.
Yeah, and we're just going to watch that unfold, and the technology is going to advance and faster than we can possibly realize.
Definitely, things are sped up. It took years for horses to get off the streets of New York City and get replaced by cars, right? But eventually that did occur. We're not sure where this is all going, but there will be some professions like shoeing shoes on horses, which is not a very big profession today. There'll be some that just become specialized.
It is in my neighborhood.
Is it in your neighborhood? Yeah, you live on Smicksburg, right?
Yeah.
You need some shoes on the horses out there.
In my neighborhood, and my car shop would tell you I get enough horse nails in my tires about 12 a year.
It's a danger.
Yeah. So, but those things are happening, and people want to learn more. Your place is the place to go.
They give us a call, reach out to me, and we'll try to set them up. We'd love to do some extended AI workshops, maybe get a little deeper under the hood. So we'll start with the AI for small business and see what kind of interest there is. If we discover that there are people who want to get into it deeper, we can certainly help them out. And of course, we have local educational resources like IUP that is strong in this area as well.
Yeah.
So we don't want to duplicate any of that work.
So people want to learn more about you and what you do. What should they do?
Please go to the tecenter.org website. I think that's the easiest way to find out what we do, and give us a call.
He's Erick Lauber. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Would you like to play a game? It's 3 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Fox News coming your way then, and then Josh with a brief look at local news. And we are off then to the Brian Kilmeade Show on this 4th of July pre-day. It is July the 3rd today.